Greetings everybody, Steve here, and today we're going to talk about how you can monetize your DJ stream. Now this is one topic I have not seen anybody talk about on YouTube, but I have heard a lot of buzz and questions and things of that nature on social media. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over different ways that you can do it and break down some of the elements, and I'll give you some links that you can go to and get some additional information. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so the first thing that we're going to talk about are tips or donations. So this is the most obvious thing that most people would think of. There's a few different ways that you can go about doing that. The most obvious that most people tend to think of would be to just put on the screen your Cash App ID or Venmo, Zelle, PayPal Me, some kind of name that people can go into their app and or go to a link and they can just send you money and it comes straight to you. That is perfectly fine. You can absolutely do that. Don't be afraid to do that. So many people are scared and worried about if they get copyright flagged and they took some kind of tips or something like that. That's not how that works. Gamers have been doing this for many years, taking tips and donations mostly through PayPal. It's not, just do it. If you want to do that, just do it. There's no reason to hesitate on that. You can also put a link in your chat to your PayPal, or whatever. You can put it in the chat and make that come up in that space, as well as having it actually on screen. If you're not using your phone to stream, you should be able to put it on the screen in OBS or Streamlabs OBS or XSplit, whatever broadcasting software you're using from your computer, which is where you should be streaming from. It's very easy to put that on there so you can have that displayed. You can also use services like Streamlabs or Stream Elements, and what they do is they have a way that they have a donation link that you can give your viewers, and then what that does is when they go to that link, it takes them to a web page that gives them basically payment processing options, and then they can send you the tip through there, and then that sends it to like your PayPal or whatever, like bank account, however you want to have it set up, and sends it directly through there. There's also an option if you are a YouTube partner where you can actually take tips through what's called a super chat, which we'll get into a little bit later in the video when we start talking about YouTube specifically. All right, so now this next section is kind of platform specific and how they work. But subscriptions will be the next thing that we're going to talk about very briefly, because we'll get into the specifics when we get into the individual platforms. But subscriptions essentially are ways that people can go a step further than just following you. Now they're actually paying money in order to actually be able to follow you, get additional benefits and so forth. And how subscriptions actually work varies depending on the platform that you're streaming on, but that is another way. There's also something that's specific to Twitch called bits, which again we'll get into more details, but essentially it's ways that people can pay money, and it's a fun thing that they can do where they give you these bits, and if you got things set up properly, it will show on screen. Definitely will always show in the chat when you do that. So that's another thing that people tend to like to do, that is beneficial to you as the artist that's trying to actually generate revenue from the platform. So now this next one is a little bit of a tricky one, because it really varies on the platform and how big of an audience you have as to how much it's really going to benefit you. But ad revenue is another way that you can generate money. When it comes to really two platforms, YouTube and Twitch, they both have ads that will play at usually the beginning, sometimes at the end. There's also a way on Twitch where you can randomly play a 30, 60, or 90 second ad segment at different points. I wouldn't recommend just randomly just clicking that right in the middle of your stream without some kind of warning. But it is possible to do that at some point with a simple button click. But once an ad is viewed on the channel, you as the streamer get a portion of the revenue. It is a very small amount that you're actually going to get out of it, but it is an option or way that there's additional revenue that you can generate from your stream. Now with YouTube and Twitch, only YouTube partners and Twitch affiliates or partners actually get that revenue, and we'll get into the specifics on that in a moment. But you have to be a part of one of those programs in order for that revenue and some of these other monetizing options outside of the tips and donations. You have to be in those programs to get that. All right, now we're going to get into some of the things that people tend to not think about when they're actually thinking about trying to make money off of their stream. The first one that we're going to talk about is merch. So merchandise that you can sell to people is a huge revenue generator. You can there's a number of different ways that you can go about this. You can use one of your local companies that can make the merch for you, and then you can have a way you can set up an online store, or you can take payments through whatever monetary service, Cash App, PayPal, whatever, however you want to do it. But an easier way of doing that is to use one of these sites where they actually have a number of products already set up, and then all you basically have to do is provide your graphics of what you want to actually have on the product. We'll use a t-shirt as an example. You can have the image, they have a whole setup where you go in and you create the t-shirt by uploading your image, position things how you want, put any text on there, whatever you want it to look like, and then from there you can post it and it creates a store for you that you can share the link to. Now these sites usually have a base price of what they want out of that product, but you at that point can set your own price over that. So let's say if their base price is $10 and you set the price of the shirt to $20, they get 10, you get 10. So that's how that works. So, and there's a number of different ones. Teespring is probably the most popular that streamers use. There's easy integrations with Teespring in Twitch, which is why a lot of streamers use that. Other ways that you can do it as well is through Streamlabs and Stream Elements. They have merch stores that you can set up through them. And again, easy integration into the streaming platforms, because that's specifically what those services are designed for. So that's a great way to generate a lot of revenue, especially if you come up with a really great design. It doesn't have to just be like your logo or something like that. It can be some cool saying or some great artwork that you created or had commissioned just for you to be able to do something with. But of course, if you got a logo that looks really awesome and looks great on a shirt, and you got a great following, people that really want to support you, they'll buy it, and then they're out representing you while they're walking around with that shirt, and then that also is money that you get generated. So it's one of those things that kind of goes in a circle, and it's a really great thing, and I really highly recommend that you look into doing that. All right, so before we move on to talking about specific platforms, let's talk about another thing that a lot of people don't think of that they can use to monetize their stream, and that's add-ons. So there's a number of different add-ons that you can get, but there are 3 specific things that I've found that are some great options that I think are worth really looking into and exploring further. So the first one are stream stickers. So now this one is a little Twitch specific. There is an extension for Twitch that you can add on, and then you add it as a browser source in your OBS or Streamlabs OBS. And then basically what that does is people, when they're watching your stream, people can click on this stream stickers section, and there are these little sticker icons, and they have differing numbers on them. Those numbers are bits, amounts of bits, and again, we'll get into bits in a moment, but they can use bits to purchase these stickers. And then what the stickers do when you add that browser source into OBS or Streamlabs OBS or XSplit, whatever you're using, what it does is it will take that sticker and slap it on the screen during your stream, and each sticker has like a different sound effect that it plays, and people love it. It sounds silly, it sounds crazy, I know, I get it, but people love doing things like this. This is engagement. That's what the purpose of this is for. So it's engagement and it's revenue generating. So it's just another way that they can use the bits that they purchase, and they love doing it. And there's all kind of different ones on there. If there's some on there you don't like, you can exclude them, but it's a really, really great option. Another one, well, actually these next two are other services that you can integrate on any of the platforms. The first one is loots.com. So loots.com, basically what it does is you provide a link to your viewers. Your viewers can click on this link and they can type a message, a special message directly to you. Then what that does, when they send that message, it costs them absolutely nothing. When they click on that message, you will have, again, just like with stream stickers, there's a browser source that you add. Once it's added onto your screen, right in the corner, you know, or you can set where on the screen it sits, but an ad comes up and it plays an ad for a movie or a game or something like that. And then after that ad is done, then it flips over and it shows the message that that person wanted to send you. And because it's an ad that's playing, you get money from the playing of that ad. And I believe there's ways that they can actually click on the ad, and if they do, then that's also a way that money gets generated. Now, the amount that actually you earn from that really depends on how many people actually are viewing the ad and how many people are clicking on the ad, and you know, then so there's a balance with that. So the next one is actually called Streamloots. Streamloots is a little unique, and you know, compared to the other two. Basically what it is a card collection type of situation. So basically your viewers will get packs of cards, and they have to pay for these packs of cards. So that's where the money comes in. So now the packs of cards, each card that they get has different things on it, and you can set up what they do. But there's different things that you can have it say, really fun stuff like make me add an hour to my stream, so then you have to play for an extra hour. Play my song is one that they have in there. So this is great for DJs because, you know, it's a request type of situation. So if there's a certain song that somebody wants to hear or something like that, then they can you know, play that card and tell you what song they want to hear. There's one to play a random GIF or GIF, however you want to pronounce it, and the you can set it up so when they, you know, do that, you can have a collection of different images, and then they'll appear on the screen, and you can make it, you know, be some funny, you know, little image or whatever that comes up. But you can set which of the cards are actually available for them to be able to acquire and use. You can even set what some of them do, and you can also make some rare. So just like real life card collection, like Magic or Pokemon or one of these other card games, there's or baseball cards, there's certain cards that are rare that, you know, you just don't see that often, and then there's some that are extremely common. So you can basically set which ones are rare and which ones are more common cards. So it's a really cool and unique feature, and again, because they've got to buy the packs, there's revenue that gets generated for you through doing that. All right, so now let's get into some platform specific information. So we're going to start with YouTube. YouTube is probably I would say probably the most strict or better yet restrictive platform when it comes to monetizing. They've constantly changed the way monetizing works on their platform over the years. They've made it harder for people to be able to monetize as well as maintain the ability to monetize. The reason why it's so difficult is because you have to be in their partner program. So the YouTube partner program, it requires you to get in now. As of making this video, the way that the status is, from what I can find the details on, is you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 unique watched hours. So that means that no matter how many times somebody watches your video repeatedly, it only counts as one person. So you've got to have basically 4,000 unique watch hours and 1,000 subscribers to be considered into the partner program. Because of the type of content people try to keep putting on YouTube, they are constantly being critical about what they can actually allow to be on the platform. So they're even more specific about what's allowed by partners, because at that point they're allowing you to get paid for what you're doing. So while they really don't play around with putting crazy content on YouTube to begin with, they're even more strict about it when it comes to partners. So now with that in mind, keep in mind that being that we're playing copyrighted material, anything that you play that does get flagged as copywritten will either be muted or demonetized. Usually it gives you that option. And that revenue, if you have it to just demonetize it so it doesn't mute the audio, that revenue will go to the copyright holders that it flagged as being the actual owner of that content. Which honestly, with what we're doing, that's not really a bad thing, because we're playing someone else's music most of the time. So if it's being flagged to be given, for that money to be given to the person that actually made that song, I mean, the money's going to the right place if that's the case. So, that's actually, a good thing as far as that goes, but it doesn't help you as the DJ that's trying to actually generate some revenue from your sets that you're making. So, just take that and just understand how that works and how that's going to be a huge possibility and how it actually works. Now, if you do make it into the partner program, you do get some interesting features. You get to generate ad revenue like we talked about earlier. There's channel membership. So this is their version of subscriptions. So, when people, they can become a member of your channel, and then there's revenue generated from that. And then they have what's called super chats. So when you're live in the chat, people are, talking in your chat and, having a conversation. A lot of times they're saying, giving messages directly to you, not just to each other. So sometimes what some people like to do is like to have their message highlighted. So with the super chat, they can actually click, it's like a little $ icon that appears at the bottom of your chat. They can click on that $, and then they can specify a dollar amount. Based on how high that dollar amount is, their message will be highlighted, and then as the chat scrolls up, it will get to the top and it will stay there for that amount of time that's specified for that dollar amount. And you can, shout them out, respond to their message, whatever, depending on what the message is, whatever it calls for at the time. So that's actually one of the really cool features that YouTube does have. And that's outside of the monetizing of the video itself. That's direct revenue that they're giving to you. I think YouTube still takes a percentage of it because it's processing through them, but that's still revenue that's going to you that's outside of whatever revenue the video generates, which is basically through ads. Some of the features that YouTube has through the partner program, each of those may have some of their own requirements, like a certain number of subscribers to be able to access certain features and things like that. What I'll do, because there's a number of different ones, I'll put the link in the description to the page that gives you that information, so that if you're interested in that, you can go and look over that and really get an understanding of what's required to be able to access those features once you do become a partner. All right, so let's get into Twitch. Twitch has a number of different ways that you can actually generate revenue. First one that we're going to talk about is subscriptions. Now, with subscriptions, basically, there's ways that people can follow you, and that gives them a notification and lets them know that you're live. But with subscriptions, they actually get additional features, like you can have custom emojis, and through those custom emojis, they're able to be able to use those in the chat, have access to those emojis on any stream. And people love using emojis on Twitch. So trust me, make some really cool emojis. They're definitely going to use them. But with subscriptions, essentially the way it is that it's about $5 to subscribe, and you get half, Twitch gets the other half. So that's something that it's not an expensive thing. It's really easy to get. And another thing is, a lot of people will gift subs to other people in the chat. So I've seen someone give, just last night, 5 gift subs to random people in the stream, and it's a really good kind of way to kind of get people interested in subscribing by doing that, because then they get to see what access they get when as far as like what emojis you have, and they like to use those, and 30 days goes by and then the gift sub runs out, then now they want to keep using those emojis. Now they've got to subscribe themselves, so that's $5 that comes out of their pocket. Or, since Amazon owns Twitch, they've integrated a way to link your Amazon Prime to your Twitch account. And if you do that, then you can subscribe to one Twitch channel for 30 days for free through your Amazon Prime. So let your viewers know that if they have Amazon Prime, they can subscribe to you for free, and then now you still get that same amount of money that you would have gotten if they had to pay it out of pocket, but your viewer didn't have to pay anything. And then when the 30 days runs out, they can just renew it, subscribe again, you get another 30 days, and they just keep doing that. Every 30 days they can just renew it. Or they can subscribe if they want to pay out of pocket. They can subscribe for multiple months at a time. I see people do 2-3 months. I saw one person did like 24 months or something like that last night, which is crazy, but people do it, so that's a huge chunk of revenue that you can generate really easily. Another one is bits. So we talked about bits briefly earlier in the video, but to give you an understanding what bits are basically little pieces, like little emojis, little icons. Sometimes they look like little jewels or something like that, and the viewers have to actually purchase those. So the amounts amount of bits that you get for each dollar amount varies. Sometimes they have like sale prices, or if you get a certain amount, there's a certain percentage off that you get. So I won't get into the specifics on the amounts, but essentially the value of each bit is approximately like a penny. But most people will use multiple bits at a time. So usually around 100 bits, each time, sometimes more than that. It just really depends. And if you have your alerts set up, which we'll talk about in another video, because that's something a lot of people don't do, it will actually splatter the bits across the screen. You can set it up so it says so-and-so just cheered so many bits. And, so they love that. They gives them a big thing on screen that shows that they did something. They interacted with you. So again, engagement and revenue generating all at the same time. Now, in order to be able to use either of these features, you need to at least be a Twitch affiliate. To become a Twitch affiliate, you need 500 broadcast minutes, which roughly adds up to about 8.5 hours. That's not really that hard to do if you have a regular schedule. 7 unique broadcasts, an average of 3 viewers, and 50 followers. Now, this needs to be within a 30-day period. Now, the way this works is you don't necessarily have to do all of that within the 30 days. 50 followers, you're not probably going to just jump straight to 50 in 30 days unless you just have this big following that comes over with you. It's going to take some time to build that up. So once you start to build that up, once you get to the 50, in the last 30 days from that time when you hit 50, if you have reached those other points within that 30-day period, then you'll receive an email inviting you to become a Twitch affiliate. And then all you got to do is just fill out the forms and set the information in, and then you're golden. Now, with that being said, because we're DJs and because we had this pandemic hit and all these venues closed, as of the time of making this video, there's still a way through SoundCloud Pro that they can fast track you to affiliate. I don't know exactly how long it takes for it to process, but it skips you from having to do all of that work to build all of that up so that you can get to a point where you can generate revenue. So I'll leave a link in the description to the form that you fill out for that. Now, once you become an affiliate, the next goal is partner. So partner gets more emoji access. You can have a huge assortment of emojis at that point, but it is harder to get to. Partner after affiliate, you have to be an affiliate first. Once you try to go towards partner, you have to have 25 broadcast hours, broadcast on 12 different days. And here's the hardest part to build up to, because you need to have an average of 75 viewers. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's an average. I'm not saying one day you get to 75 viewers, an average of 75 viewers within a 30-day period. If you have off days, slow days, you're broadcasting on a day when there's not a lot of people jumping on, that's going to factor in, and it's going to make it harder for you to get to that 75 average. But again, those are future goals. Become an affiliate, go ahead and start generating that revenue, and then from there, partner is your next goal to move up to. But in the meantime, you're already generating that revenue. So that's Twitch in a nutshell. That's probably the easiest one to actually get things going, because it's already built in. A lot of people already understand it, and the ones that don't understand see things going on and ask questions, and then they learn. It's very, very easy to do, and a lot of it just does it automatically. And the biggest thing is that Amazon Prime linking in for the subscriptions. That's going to be a huge revenue generator for you. All right, so let's get into the last platform we're going to talk about, and that's Mixcloud. So Mixcloud recently started Mixcloud Pro, which is a $15 a month premium service for content creators. So that recently has evolved in some ways, where now they're adding Mixcloud Live. So that's where what we're talking about kind of comes into play. But it also applies to the pre-recorded content that we've always been able to upload to Mixcloud over the years. Now, what they have that's integrated into as a part of Mixcloud Pro is called Mixcloud Select. So essentially what that does is it gives your followers an option to subscribe to you. You can set your own price. The minimum price is $2.99. You can set whatever price you want above that. So now the benefits that your subscribers will have depends on you. There's different features they have, like exclusive shows, early access to different content, upfront track lists where they can get the track list information before it's made available for everybody, extended shows. Maybe you have an exclusive portion of your set where after a certain time, for anyone that's not a subscriber, it'll end and then continues playing from there, something of that nature. So you can, set that up, and in some of those different features. There's other features as well, but it's optional in how you configure those particular features. Now, the thing that I was curious about was the split on the revenue. My initial thought was, since we're paying $15.99 a month for this pro service, that Mixcloud is already getting their revenue out of the DJ from that pro subscription. So whatever revenue is generated from the subscriptions all goes to the content creator. But I just found this graphic that does not follow that. So as you can see here, essentially what we're looking at is after the fan gives their support, as it says, which is basically them paying, then 65% of that is going to the artists and songwriters that get pulled up in your track list. Approximately 5% goes to transaction fees. Now, both of those are understandable. I think the 65% is really high, but I can understand, a portion of that money going to the artists and songwriters. That leaves approximately 30% after that. That 30% is then split between you and Mixcloud. So Mixcloud is still getting 40% of that 30% that's left over, and then you get the remaining 60% of that 30%. So you're splitting what's already been split with Mixcloud. Personally, I'm not too keen on how that is set up. I think Mixcloud should not be taking any percentage, but that's my personal opinion. I think they're already getting their money out of that pro subscription. If they needed additional revenue, they should build that into the subscription price. And that whole 30% that's remaining after the artists and the songwriters get their 65, which again, I think is a little high. I think it should be more of a 50-50 split. I understand the transaction fee, but then after that, a 50-50 split between the content creator and the artist. But that's just my personal opinion on how that should work. Maybe they'll make some adjustments to it, but as of now, my understanding is that's how the revenue split works. So keep that all in mind. Mixcloud, that's really, I guess technically they're even easier to get to a revenue generating option, because you just pay for it. Where Twitch, you have to basically earn it, but it's not hard to earn. You don't have to do that with Mixcloud. All you have to do is just pay for it. You get instant access to Mixcloud Select, and then from there, this revenue split occurs whenever someone subscribes to you. So, final thoughts. When it comes to monetizing your DJ stream, it's not a hard thing to do. It's actually very, very easy. Again, just like doing the stream in general, it's about understanding how it all works, how the platforms work, how the options are set up, and other features that you can integrate. You can go as simple as just putting your Cash App or your PayPal me on the screen, or you can set up other ways for people to tip you, or you can utilize the integrated features of whatever platform that you're on that will allow you to actually generate that revenue directly from there. Just really, it's all platform specific. So it's really a matter of how it actually works on that platform and what you can do. The add-ons, I mentioned a number of different add-ons, and some of those can be really fun for your viewers to use. And some, are going to cost them some money. Some are completely free. But it's just a matter of figuring out what works best for your audience, what works best for how your stream, the concept of your stream, how things are set up, as to which ones are going to work. Merch is definitely a huge thing that I highly recommend that anybody setting up a stream that's trying to actually generate some money, set up a store, set up some merch, get some cool shirts in there, get some hats, whatever, tank tops, whatever you want to put in there, hoodies, and generate that cash, and it's going to be a big thing that's going to help you as a DJ. Right now, these clubs, they're trying to open back up. It's probably a second wave coming. They're probably going to have to close back up. They're just really, it's a bad situation right now trying to go in the clubs. I've seen a number of DJs that are doing shows, going back out again, and now they're saying, yeah, I just tested positive, so it's not a good idea. It's not a good look. So right now, online streaming there's a way you can actually, I'm not saying you're going to make a living off of it, but it's going to put some extra money in your pocket. You can actually use it to build up your fan base even more, and maybe have more people that's going to come out to your shows when clubs do open back up and you can go out and play. So let's not force it. Let's stay safe. Let's do what we can to try to help each other out. That's the whole reason why I started this channel in the first place. So let's just work together, big each other up, and get that money and do what we need to do, and just move forward. So with that being said, I'm out. I'll see you on the next one. Later.